Hi, my name is Robert Hill, but I go by Bob Hill. Thus, this channel is called Jokes by Bob Hill. And so on this channel, I want you to have fun, and I want to have fun. Telling you jokes, telling a funny story here or a funny story there, maybe quite a few funny stories. Also, with this channel, with each new video, I want to provide you with a way to laugh. After all, laughter is good medicine. And as you watch the videos, I hope that you will consider subscribing. Why don't you do that now? Why don't you subscribe right now? And then maybe this channel will become your most watched comedy channel that you watch. I don't like to make fun of people or individuals. However, I do like funny stories and funny things that happen. And I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But most of the funny things that I share are about me, unless, of course, you want me to share something that you have. If you don't like something, just hang in there. Maybe the next joke will be better. Last but not least, and just for fun, I want you to try not to laugh with this. And if by chance I don't get you to laugh, it will disappoint me, but maybe by doing so I will grow. And if you want something, put something in the comments so that I can improve. Move on to the videos. There is a big moron and a little moron sitting on the fence. And the big moron fell off. Why didn't the little moron fall off? I will tell you at the end of the video. Just stay with me and you will find out. There's a little boy sitting on the desk with no arms and no legs. What do you call him? Bill. And there's a little boy in the swimming pool with no arms and legs. What do you call him? Bob. And a little boy with no arms and no legs hanging on the wall. What do you call him? Art. One day, Grasshopper, he went into the bar and he sat on the bar stool and he sat there and waited and he finally got upset and he tried to make some noise. He wasn't very loud, and finally the bartender came around and to talk to him, and he says, "Hey, you know what? We have a drink named after you." And the Grasshopper looked up at him and he says, "Bob?" One day I went out to lunch with some friends and we were talking and just relaxing, and my water's empty, so I pick up the little water pitcher to fill my glass, and somebody says something that interrupts me, and so instead of filling my glass, I start drinking out of the water pitcher. And then somebody looks at me, "You're not supposed to do that." And I was embarrassed, and I put it down a little hard, and the whole water pitcher went all over the table. I was embarrassed, and not only did I drink out of the water pitcher, but I broke it. And so if you have an most embarrassing moment that you would like to share with somebody, you can write it or even email it to me, and I will show it on my channel if you want. One day, Mark got off the plane and he went out went out of the front of the airport, and there's no taxis around, but he only lives like about half a dozen blocks away, but he hears somebody hollering his name, "Mark, Mark, Mark." And he thinks, "Man, that's strange. Well, it's way home." And so he walked towards the voice, and it started getting louder. "Mark, Mark, Mark." So he walks about a block, and it's getting louder. "Mark, Mark, Mark." And so he's really curious and kind of nervous at the same time. So he goes another block and it's getting louder. Mark, 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 Mark. So he goes another half a block and it's louder. Mark, Mark, Mark. And he hears it coming from this aisle. So he walks down this aisle and then it gets really loud. Mark, Mark. And he comes to the end and he finds this hare-lipped dog barking. Mark, Mark, Mark. Hi, I hope I haven't told this joke again before, but I'm going to tell it because I'm not sure if I have it on my list as done. This lady, one day, this young lady, her boyfriend gave her this Schnauzer dog, and she was a little upset at first because she always wanted one of those Mexican hairless dogs with no hair. Just kind of, she thought, oh, that's unique dog, and so she wanted one of those, and she kind of got looking at it and she thought, well, you know, if I use some of that Nair and remove the hair on the dog, maybe it'll look just like that Mexican hairless dog. And she got on her bicycle and she rode down to the drugstore, and she was riding up to the drugstore, and the druggist noticed her out the window, and she came on her bike, and he went on with his business a little while, taking care of things, and he noticed she was looking for something. So he went up to her and he says, "Can I help you? Is there something in particular you're looking for?" And she says, "Yeah, I need some of that Nair that removes hair." And the druggist was a little concerned because of it could cause a rash or whatever. And so he asked, "Well, can I ask are you using it for under your arms?" She says, "No, it's not for under my arms." "Why?" And the druggist says, "Well, if you use it under your arms, then you better not put deodorant on it for several days because it could really irritate under your arms." She says, "No, well, it's not for under my arms." And the druggist asks, "Well, are you going to use it on your legs?" And she says, "No, I'm not using it on my legs." "Why?" "Well, because you may want to let your legs air out and not put pantyhose or anything on for a day or two, just to reduce or lower the chance of getting skin irritation." And she says, "Well, it's not for my legs." And the druggist says, "Well, just where is it for?" "Oh, it's for my Schnauzer." And the druggist looked at her and says, "Well, if you use it there, you won't be able to ride that bicycle for at least a week." This lady had twins, and the one was always whining and the other was always happy. And they got to be about 12 years old. Well, it got to be about 6 years old, and she's just really upset because the one, any toy the boy will be content with, and the other is always soaking and breaking the toys and miserable. And so she takes him to a psychologist, and the psychologist wants to examine him, and so he puts the pessimist little boy into this room with all the new gadgets and toys, and he puts the optimist in this boy with a pile of manure. And they wait about a half an hour, and you give the psychologist time to talk to the lady and to vent her troubles. And so they decide to go in and see how the boys are doing. And they go into the pessimist, and he's broken every toy in there, pieces all over the place, and he's just complaining nothing lasts, all cheap stuff, and she is just really upset because he was supposed to go in there for some help, and she says, well, gee, I hope my other boy's okay. So they go into the other boys, and he's just digging through that manure, and he's saying, with all this manure, there's gotta be a pony in here somewhere. Okay, to answer the question, a big moron and a little moron sitting on the fence, and the big moron fell off, and the little moron stayed. So why was the little moron able to stay on the fence where the big moron fell off? Because he was a little more on.